Hello again. I'm coming back with another analysis using technical analysis, utilizing price action method. And here I'm going to take a look at that to this news, USDJPY. In Forex market, it says a dollar turns lower at key technical resistance. So it seems that in this news, we have some sort of technical analysis information, and let's just try to look at the details. It says that USDJPY staged a U-turn early on Thursday as currency traders rotated out of US dollars following the blah blah blah, the news that we just talked about. And we had an analysis on the US dollar just a few days ago, I guess. We have some sort of more information technically. For the technically Korea the pair downshifted just as it hit the 200-day SMA. It is stands for simple moving average, which is an indicator. I will come back to this. A long-term indicator that signals whether the asset is in a bear market or a bull market. By the looks of it, market participants think it is not yet the time for this currency to exit the bear market. Okay, let's just jump into the chart and see what it is saying. It was talking about a daily stuff. I'll actually utilize the moving average indicator. As I said, we always, I always hear in this channel just analyzing the charts via price action method. This means that we don't utilize any moving average or any kind of indicator. But for for now, I just want to show you what this news is talking about. If I uh, open up the settings for this moving average, the method is SMA. Again, we have exponential and other various, which these two are the most popular ones. But single moving average with length of 200, which for technical analysis, guys, this is um, uh, sometimes an important indicator. And what it says that how technical analysts utilize this, it is that they're saying that if the price is above this 200 moving average, and simply just if I want to tell you what is this exactly, what is this line, this is the average of 20 for each candle. For example, this is small candle here, this red candle here, you can see that the moving average is almost here, but the target that this moving average is showing, these are some dots for each candle that they have been attached to each other, and now it's has been become a line of some sort of a line, but it is curving. It is the average of the previous 200 candles, the average of the closed, actually the point that each candle just got closed. So those averages for each candle is a point, and you can see them in the chart, but they have been attached as to each other. So now you can see some sort of a line. So it is saying that if price is above the closed price of 200 candles before, if it is above that, it seems that the market is bullish, or it is up, it is going to be an uptrend, it's going to move forward, it has an upside momentum. But when it's above that line, so it is bearish, so it is down, it is moving to the downside, and they will call it as downtrend market or beer. Um, Here we can see in the news that it said that it reached that resistance zone. So they actually saying it is the fan of this actually method, they're saying it is working as support and resistance, and you can see how price is, for example, here reacting to this as support, and now when it's actually when the breakout just happened um, about a month ago, or a few months ago actually, and now it is behaving as resistance. So we have a U-turn here as it was in the news. This is what the news is all about, but we are not actually in our method, in our channel, we utilize price action method. We don't use any of kind of these. And with this method, it means that we just look at the price and its action. That's why it is obviously called price action. So not using any indicator or that, but of course there are various of thousand strategies and methods in technical analysis, but we are actually sticking to price action, which means we start with an empty chart. And I personally prefer to start from weekly, as always, to have a better sense of what was the history. Of course, looking at this chart, it is not going to give me what is happening in this U-turn, because once I'm not seeing that U-turn at all, but knowing a little bit of the history, it will be always beneficial. So just zoom out a little bit to find out where is the initial point of this impulsive wave, this very long impulsive wave on this currency pair, which started in 2021. And I can see that after this long rally, I can just draw it accurately, and you can see now the price has corrected itself and it has been reached to this level, which is the 50 percentage of the previous rally, and it seems to be a very complete correction on this level, and then reversed up. This is the first thing that it is coming into my mind. So just get rid of that. I've actually reclaim enough information with via that by using that tool. But now what I want to know is that okay, this is a very important support zone that price used to react as well uh, sometime in the history, and now also recently has been reversed and reacted to that. And just as a side note, I will say that okay, this was the 50 percentage of FIBO level as the correction. But this can be enough by looking at the weekly chart, just understanding, just trying to find out some important historical zones. But also, we have in the news, it said that it was a reversal. I want to point out here that we also have a resistance zone, very important one if you pay attention. I can see that it reacted to these sometime here. If I zoom out in the daily chart, which I will do soon, I can see it also reacted as a support when it broke out and went up. And also after that, I'm seeing that when it's again broke to the downside, it just retested again and reacted as resistance. And now for the second time recently during the previous last weeks, I mean during the from December to 2022, I can see it has been reacted just now as well as we saw in the news that it was the U-turn. Yes, that they had in the news, it was another interpretation. Now I'm showing you another interpretation, but both of them are concepts of technical analysis. But this is what I usually do as price action. I think I have enough information from this weekly So let's jump into the daily. Let's zoom out a little bit. Now I can see that it was not the only place that price reacted, because now I'm seeing more details in this previous support zone, as well as if I just adjust it better, or hmm, doing it something like this, I can see that price not just reacted on that point, but also several other points as the resistance, some sort of fake out. Again, it reversed, and then we had the breakout, and then when it came back, it reacted as support. Then again, few times I can see 3 points, but just two arrows are enough. Again, as resistance, and now here as the U-turn, as we saw in the news. So we are complete with these levels, but let's just zoom in a little bit, talk about this correction, because we just talked that it was the 15% correction after that very powerful rally to the top of this currency pair. But how we can actually see these correction, because the corrections are formed when they are sharp, are formed with ABC according to Elias wave theory. But how can I see, is it really an ABC? Um, let's just for a moment just remove these stuffs, so I can, because they seems a little bit annoying to me, try to understand what is happening here. The only, let's also get rid of this for now. The only I can see the only point bet between these whole correction, which can be some sort of a stop or some sort of a correction, it is the only place here. So this part seems to be one way to me. Also, this one very similar. I can also create some sort of a channel for this. So also seems to be part of one wave, and this seems to be a correction between them. So if I want to count it as ABC, because I know it is a correction, I would say this is some sort of B, and this probably it's going to be the C point. Let's just redo a little bit, bring these stuffs back, because they're also important. Now I can say this is A, B, C, so I have all of them. Let's just temporarily jump into the 4-hour chart to see a little bit of details of these waves. Let's try to zoom in. Okay, this is going to be some sort of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, because A is an impulsive wave, so the minor waves should be something like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm doing why I'm doing so, why I'm trying to count these waves. The reason is that when I say that it was a correction to the 50 percentage feeble level, I just want to confirm that, try to understand, is it really an corrective structure from another perspective, which is the uh, Elliott wave theory, and not just sticking to those feeble levels. So that's the reason I'm trying to first find out the big intermediate wave, which is it was A, B, C, and now trying to count and see if it really makes sense. I cannot just randomly say, okay, this seems to be a correction. I want to get sure that this understanding is it's correct. That's why I'm trying to see if I'm seeing some sort of 5 waves here, which I'm doing here. According to this correction, I can say that it was some sort of descending uh, triangle. You know that we have side wave corrections, and one of those types are triangles. And now we are seeing some form of uh, descending triangle. So it's a sideways sideways correction, which is this descending triangle. Um, and we had the third wave, and when we have side waves in one of the corrections in a in an impulsive wave, the second one or the other one should usually be a zigzag or sharp correction. And as you can see, I can see an ABC here into the force. So it is sharp. It is not as sideways or usually as slow. Takes too much, too long to be completed. And we are seeing some sort of a thing here. But after this powerful third wave, which is hiding behind this arrow, after this one, we can see an ABC, obvious ABC, that it is confirming, yes, we are actually in a correct place. According to this B, okay, we talked about the A. Let's look at the B. What I'm saying is some sort of a flat as the correction. Flat is another sideways correction. Um, well, let's just put all this flat to another rectangle. Let me also change the color to something that differs with that level, with that actually, so this is the bottom of the flat and this is the top of the flat. The flat has an ABC form as well. So if I want to go and do a minor wave counting, this should be an A, B, and C form as the flat to form my in, my intermediate B wave. So this ABC is now forming this whole B here. So if I want to add another arrow, also I can add it here as the A of this. So, well, also I've gotten so far got very good information because this was the only breaking point in the middle of this whole way when I was looking at it in the daily view. And let's just quickly also take a look at this C. I can see that it is some sort of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Does it make sense? Yes. Usually when we count these impulsive waves, if I can draw some sort of a thread line as the channel, uh, the, the, the rule in that theory is telling me, is telling, let's just fix this channel, something like this. So you can see that I can create a channel for this C wave up to down here. And the reason is that it is some sort of a diagonal. You can still see some sort of counting the waves, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But as you can see, the correction of fourth wave is interfering the first wave and it is going to return back to the territory of the first wave. And this is not something usually happens when we are actually counting waves. For example, here, if we say this 1, 2, 3, 4, you can see 4 has not been entered to the territory of the first wave. But when that happens, we are seeing some sort of diagonals, and yeah, it is harder to count the waves. We don't know how it is really, but they are still impulsive waves. They are not something um, other than impulsives. But usually you can also, according to my personal experiences, you can create channels, parallel channels around them most of the times, and it is indicating that it was one single wave or a trend. At least each of these waves are some sort of trends in the market, and you can clarify them with create with uh, drawing channels around them like this. So it is enough. So come back to daily. We saw enough about the details of these waves. So we can see that this channel in the end just broke because it reversed from this very important support 15% feeble level and just bounced up to this very strong resistance zone as well. Good information. Let's come back to that hourly. As you can see, always when I start from weekly view, uh, that's the time that I want to look at just much far away from the current uh, price or current situation. But as long as I jumped into get closer to the current time, I also jump into lower time frames because I want to see more details. And now I'm reaching this last wave, the wave that uh, it was also in the news and it was talking. So in that case, I will actually jump into the hourly chart because I want to see much more details in comparison to previous ones. So I can see more details here about this channel. And by the way, here is not a shadow. Uh, I need to somehow draw this something like this. Just ignore that shadow here, and that is perfectly fine. Just wanted to clarify that because when this rectangle was here, it actually illustrates some sort of a shadow. Also, I was I it trapped me in a mistake. Anyhow, we obviously see as well there is no need to show it, but we had of course a breakout to that channel because it's reversed back and it's actually started a bullish momentum. Anyhow, um, before again I switch between these time frames a lot, but there is also one thing that I want to figure out before jumping to that hourly chart to see the details of this last wave, which is the most important part for us because we want to understand what is the current situation in the market, right? But before that, we have this ABC, and also it is not going to be an impulsive wave, but I want to see how this wave, it is not really correct to do that, to be honest, but also I want to double check how much this has been get corrected because it might be um, this ABC, when it ends, usually we are going to see an impulsive wave. So this is not a correction to look at the retracement, um, but just just it's some sort of addiction to these tools, and I want to check that in which level of this correction this resistance zone has been settled. I'm seeing that it is 38. Just wanted to get confirmation if it is any feeble level there, but really not necessary to do that because ABCs are not going to have a correction. And if it is a correction of this, for example, C, it is a 100% correction because it started just from this point. So just long story short, we don't really need to do that, but I some kind of addiction to these tools. I usually want to double check everything. Anyhow, um, let's jump. Good. Let's jump into this hourly finally and try to understand. Okay, um, I'm expecting that after we reach this point, let's shrink it a little bit. We know that this was the C. I can see some sort of double button. I can add more arrows here, but they are not really helping me. I'm mostly interested to check out what is this trend. So let me just clear things up a little bit. Now I have just a clean view of this wave. Let's see if we can find some sort of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, because if it is going to be an impulsive to the top after these, we're probably going to need to see some sort of impulsive wave. So, but regardless of that, if it is going to be an ABC, for example, to top, or it is going to be an 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, we are going to at least see a one impulsive wave as the first wave, regardless if it is the first wave or the A wave. So I'm seeing some errors in my streaming application. I hope I'm still live. Um, so let's continue with that. Um, Not sure if my connection just dropped. Hopefully, I'm still online. But anyhow, um, let's see what these waves are about. Um, okay, let's see if I can see some sort of um, 5 waves. If I want to check that, maybe I can count them as this. This is probably my first wave. This is going to be some sort of a correction. I will come back to these. And is it going to be the third wave? Hmm. It seems a little bit strange. If that's the case, maybe this is the fourth wave. And is it going to be the fifth one? Let's just take a closer look. I can utilize the same rectangle. If that's the first wave, I can see some sort of a flat pattern again. This is the top side of that flat. This is the bottom. You can see how many times price reacted to these levels. So I can say I had one impulsive wave and a corrective structure here as flat, and I had a third wave here. Third wave not always is the longest wave, but it should not be the shortest either. And I can see it is not shorter than 1 as the first wave. So it is still okay to count this as the as a third wave. I can see a 1, 2 ABC pattern here, and now as the fifth way, it is going to be more challenging. So I'm happy with that. So I can see this flat, I can see this small ABC. Let's also just show you this ABC, and this is going to be even a minute. Let's choose a more lighter color for that. So this is this ABC. Now I'm just double checking everything is working fine. So for this fifth wave, these kind of impulsive waves, that they have a longer fifth wave, which you can count those its minute waves more easily. This is going to be called as ending diagonal, and usually the waves are going to, as I said about diagonals just a few moments ago, the waves are going to enter the territory of the previous ones. But let's see if I can somehow count these waves. I can see a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which is my first wave here probably, and some sort of side wave structure. This is my second. I can see that this is the not, I cannot really say this is the third wave or something. Let's open these. I will say 3, 5, just close to each other, and let's change the colors because I want to keep that open. It is going to be minutes. So it is 1, 2, 3, 5. Let's keep them open, and 4 probably should be somewhere down here. Um, Which is good. I cannot really talk about this. So this fifth wave, we are talking about, we cannot really get sure what we are heading for because this has not been finished. We are not sure exactly if this rally, yeah, we're seeing some U-turn as it was in the news, but are we really done with that, or it is going to be continued? So that's why I want to keep these third and fifth wave open here for now. I will come back to that, but let's utilize another simpler tool as trend line. I would like to draw a trend line, and as you can see, it is just a trend line for this fifth wave, um, or maybe, yeah, because it is the start. I think it is a much better uh, line. You can see that price has been reacted to these several times. Yeah, yeah, at the end of the second wave, at the end of the fourth wave, also sometime after that. I will just draw arrows. So I can see that this trend line has not been broken, so we cannot confirm a return really. Yes, we are seeing a U-turn, but it doesn't mean that it is necessarily going to be a reversal, because also, for example, in here we had the U-turn, but was it a reversal? No, it has still continued its momentum. We need to confirm that in somehow. So for this fifth wave, I'm trying again, as I said, diagonals is easier to draw parallel channels around them at the top and bottom of them. So yeah, the counting of waves somehow saying that it is done, this ABC pattern is done. I can see that if I bring up my MACD, usually, as I said, I'm not using indicators, but just for confirmation of the end of the trends, I usually use one of these oscillators. I preferred MACD here. You can see that from this third wave, as long as we created, the price created higher highs here, each of them created a higher highs, but we are seeing a completely vice versa situation. Here we have lower highs, which we call this divergence. Let's clarify this by writing it down here, not to forget about that. So this is one of the another signal. So we reaching a very important weekly strong resistance level. We are actually having an almost finished uh, impulsive wave. We are seeing some sort of divergence, very long divergence on MACD, but not still seeing. Also, as it was in the news, we are also seeing some sort of U-turn, but not any breakout, not any confirmation yet. Even if we have these things, let's get rid of this MACD. So the conclusion is that these one, two, three, I'm guessing that we are going this the reason that I could not find the third wave, which because usually it's the longest wave as well. So this probably is going to be my third wave. This whole from two to the top, and this is going to be the this U-turn, the correction of that. But I'm still guessing we are going to have a last wave of this last fifth wave of this whole intermediate impulsive first wave. And so to the conclusion, I always have three different conclusions: one short term, one mid term, one long term. Um, I would say that here we are going to see another try to top. I'm not seeing that it is going to directly jump down, because if I go to 1 hour chart, it is not. I usually don't do that. Just going into these very low time frames, but I can see we already have completed some sort of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 or something like that, and I can bring up MACD. You can see also at the end we have some sort of we have some sort of divergence here at the end of the trend. But in very low time frames, emotions are so powerful here, are so visible. It's the emotions in the market impact everything. You should not really try to count waves in these minutes. I personally don't suggest, because you will just can lost among the emotions. But anyhow, what I want to say that I'm not see that much of a power that it can immediately break this down, and also because I'm thinking that this whole trend was my third one. I'm expecting the last one. However, this might not be. Let's go back to the 40 hour. So much details here. So the fifth wave, minute wave, might be happen maybe to the same level up here, then it will create a double top pattern. And also it might be to the previous level somewhere here as the fifth wave. So the fifth wave can sometimes, when the trend is very, very weak, as we are seeing here at the moment, it is almost returning, it can actually create truncation. So this fifth wave might not actually be that much powerful to pass third wave, and this rarely happens. And in the fifth waves of the last impulsive wave, and that might be the case. So if that happens, I can see it here is another level. Maybe I can draw it with another color here. Hopefully I have another color. um, so this might be the level that I'm seeing some resistance in the hourly. What it's going to create for me, if that's the case, it is going to be a possible head and shoulder. So this is my left shoulder. This is going to be my head, and this is going to be my right shoulder. So depending to where exactly this fifth way is going to be, we are going to see a double top or head and shoulder, which both of them indicating again a reversal. Both of these patterns are reversal patterns. So this might be my short conclusion. And after its return, uh, probably it is going to return to a level somewhere. If I just shrink the chart a little bit here, I can see a very important zone as well here. Um, let's get rid of these things. It is so crowded. Let's get rid of this wave counting and also uh, these guys here. So now I can again breathe. So let's bring the color back to my original uh, color for support and resistance zones. Uh, okay, now I can draw more arrows. About for these, I can see that the price reacted to these levels several times. I can go back to the history. I can probably find more, but it is enough. It is a very, very strong zone as I'm seeing here. So in the short term, it's probably going after some sort of reverse momentum to top. Uh, then it will get frustrated finally, and probably we are going to see a breakout to a level somewhere here. Also, I can see another important level here as well. Oops, this is too wide. Uh, let's just shrink this as well. I can add some arrows as well here. These are the levels that we should not miss if we want to um, just finding a target of this reversal. So to this level, this is something, or a little bit down. This is going to be my short conclusion of this chart. But in the midterm, if I go to the daily chart, ooh, again, we have messed this chart a lot. Just try to get rid of these things here. I cannot really work, and this is normal when we are focusing on and trying to understand. in different time frames. This is completely normal. These things happens, but it is always to have in mind to clean your charts, because it is not a good practice to just do a lot of dirty things and try to understand. You always might confuse and you might lose some points because you have some sort of um, just stuffs that um, can lead your attention to somewhere, some other place that might not be uh, a correct place for you. So we talked about the just maybe in short term, maybe go up and then reverse back to a level as such. So let me just show it. But the midterm, that's the reason that I jumped back to this daily. The midterm is going to be a complete reversal to this point, uh, in my guess, uh, because it is going to be a resistance zone and we are going to see some sort of reversal here. But anyhow, I'm not going to see as a long term that if I as a long term just go back to uh, this view, we can see that we had some impulsive, it was a correction, it returned back, and probably we are going to start some sort of an impulsive here. That's one of the scenarios. And if we are wrong, if this is not the in case of, because this is our analysis, right? You also need to sometimes think about um, cases that might not something that we could confirm exactly. If it is not an ABC, and if it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, then this might be its correction, and then in a long term, it might break these and goes continues its momentum to downside as well. But this is long talking about long terms are not really nice, because we need to wait maybe a year to see how price is going to uh, play around these levels. For us, coming back to the news, coming back to an hourly chart, it is that we probably going to see some sort of playing around these things before starting a rally to downside. And this short thing is important, and also maybe complete return to this very important support zone. But we need to really um, be wise and not trying to predict everything in a long future. We need to see how price is going to be react, how it, what kind of action it is going to have in the close future, in order to uh, uh, in order to have this ability to talk about the upcoming futures, because it is a price action method, and it is all about the action that price has on this chart. So I think we're done with the conclusions, short, mid, and long term. I hope you enjoyed. I have a Discord channel. You can find the link to that. And if you have any question about these contents, feel free to ask them there. I will come back and answer as soon as I get the chance. Also, if you're watching them on YouTube, you can find all my streams recorded on YouTube. So feel free to put comments. I would be grateful to actually see some kind of feedbacks from you. But anyhow, we are done. Thank you for watching my stream and hope you